The maritime industry is what makes up a large part of our global economy in our daily lives. I mean, the clothes we eat, sorry. I'm Catherine. I'm a senior manager in the International Maritime Centre promotion team in the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore. If you think about it, it's actually all around you. The maritime industry is something that drives a large part of our global economy in our daily lives. The clothes we wear, the food we eat, the cars that we drive around in, more than 80% of global trade is carried by sea. So the industry is literally what moves the world. I would say you can kind of break it down into three parts. First is the ports from which the goods leave and arrive. Then you have the ships that physically transport the goods across the oceans. And third is what we call the International Maritime Centre, which is a supporting network of shore-based maritime companies that ensure the smooth running of operations at sea. So that includes the people who build and design the ships, who buy and sell the ships, they insure the ships, finance the ships, or operate the ships. Many people assume that if you work in the maritime industry, you either work at the port or on a ship. But that's not true. The industry is so much more than that. There's also ship operators, charterers, even techies, for example, who are developing new solutions to modernize traditional business models and processes. Or like me, you could find yourself developing and executing policies for the industry in Singapore. I guess you could think of me as Singapore's representative to the global maritime industry. I help companies like Cargill, Anglo-American and Chevron to tap into growth opportunities from Singapore, upskill their workforce, catalyze innovation, and at the same time also secure good business and job opportunities in Singapore. So naturally, with technology and digitalization, the way things are run is different. Then the people that companies employ will also need to adapt their skill sets accordingly. So we help companies to upgrade the skill sets of their existing employees and ensure that they are able to retain talent that is well equipped for the future. And as we see the COVID-19 situation playing out, I basically act as ears on the ground to get feedback on the challenges and issues that companies are facing, whether it's in terms of credit management, talent retention, or just trying to push ahead with the original plans that they had before COVID-19. So it's a really exciting time and space to be in, especially with the trends of digitalization and decarbonization unfolding in the industry. So digitalization is basically looking at the impact of technologies, and decarbonization is in relation to sustainability. So that includes, for example, reducing GHG emissions. So the maritime industry in Singapore is largely anchored on two pillars. One is our global hub port, and the other is the International Maritime Centre, which is essentially the network of shore-based maritime companies that support maritime operations at sea. For us, the four broad focus areas that we look at: first, we are trying to build an ecosystem of ship owners and operators, as well as maritime service providers. Second, it's really building the pool of quality talent that the industry can tap on. The third is really positioning Singapore as a meeting place and standard bearer for the industry. Lastly, how do we unlock value and capitalize on new trends and developments like digitalization and decarbonization? The most obvious thing that a shipping company would need is, of course, a ship. So in order to get a ship, companies would usually engage the services of a shipbroker, which acts like a matchmaker basically, and they help to source for suitable vessels in the market that companies can either buy or rent. Before the ship starts its journey, the company will also typically buy insurance for the ship. So that includes your hull insurance, which protects the ship, and then also cargo insurance, which protects the goods that the ship carries. I would say that the biggest challenge is anticipating and unlocking the value from emerging trends and disruptions. But I also see that as an opportunity as much as it is a challenge or a threat. So one of the immediate shifts that we're seeing in the industry is technology and innovation. So technologies like automation, AI, blockchain, these are things that we anticipate will change the way that the industry is run and operated, and it could even completely fundamentally change how the industry works. So for Singapore, one of the key initiatives that we've embarked on is the development of the Tuas Port, and that will be the world's largest fully automated container terminal when it's fully operational in the 2040s. We're also launching a Maritime Single Window. The Maritime Single Window is intended to be a one-stop shop to fulfill all of a vessel's needs when they call at the Singapore port. So this includes things like getting a parking spot within the port or refueling the ship, and the crew may also need certain supplies like medicine, food, phone cards. And to support maritime companies in their innovation efforts, MPA also launched a Maritime Innovation Lab where industry players can test fit new technologies, including autonomous vessels. And we also have the Pier 71 platform, which matches maritime corporates to technology startups to help them address problem statements that they may have. The industry contributes about 7% of Singapore's GDP, and it consists of more than 5,000 maritime establishments. So this includes your international shipping groups, banks that offer shipping finance, insurers, as well as lawyers. I think a lot of people don't realize how significant the maritime industry is to our economy.